Bang. Neeves and Knives. I'm Jarrett. My lovely wife, Kara, is running around here somewhere. And today we are talking about the Tom Mayo Bowie. This is a complete handmade knife. No water jet or anything like that. It is an amazing build. And I did sharpen it. This knife was sent to us by Spirited Blades. And I want to say something because Spirited Blades has a lot of amazing knives. He's the one that sent us the two Trezolas, which I also sharpened, that are absolutely amazing knives. We'll pull them back in here in just a second. But you know, he has a lot of amazing knives, but I got to give him credit too, because he also has some of his amazing knives that he uses, you know, kind of like a knife like this. This is a $2,500 knife, give or take, very expensive. Don't click off now because they said that. Calm down, because we're going to talk about more than just this knife, so just calm down. Just keep listening. So I want to give him credit for using some of his knives. Now, I know he probably doesn't use them all, because some of them he probably wants to retain their value to maybe trade or sell in the future. But then there are some that I think, I don't know, you know, inside his mind what he really thinks. But, you know, if he's going to have a whole bunch of, say, Ferraris, right? It'd be stupid for him to not drive a Ferrari. Right? So I see a lot of people, and I'm not knocking anybody or anything like that, but they'll have a whole bunch of knives, but then they'll use their $10 knife. They'll have a whole bunch of $500 knives, but they don't use those. They use a $10 knife. Like, what? Like, I can't, me personally, can't fathom that. And I gotta respect somebody that collects expensive knives and also carries an expensive knife. You know, instead of owning a whole bunch of expensive knives, but you only carry, you know, you might carry your expensive knife, but you'll be damned if you use it. So I got to give him credit with that, for that, and also like having me sharpen them and stuff like that, because that's just, to me, this is my personal opinion. I think, say, Bob Trezola or Tom Mayo, them seeing that he sent his knives to go get them hand sharpened and reviewed, and he uses them. You know, it's not like you have to use your knife hard to use them. So, but I think that to them is such a, what's the word? Such a compliment to their work that I know that would just put a smile on their face, to know that their knife not only is being bought, but it's being carried and used, sharpened. And I did sharpen this. I did run into a couple minor issues. Now, one, when I started sharpening it, the tip on both sides were chipped off a little bit, and that wasn't from use. What that was from the last time it was sharpened. Most likely the stone skipped off the tip. I see that. It's very common. So I had to sharpen it back enough to get rid of that. So I had to sharpen it down enough to get rid of that. And then doing that, at first it was nice and even for the most part. There was a couple of areas I noticed that I was going to wind up having to sharpen into, like a little bit here. It's got a little bit of fingerprints on it. But then on the other side, it started getting thinner. On the other side, it started getting thinner right here. If it will ever focus, let me just zoom in a little bit. So you'll see both sides go from thinner and then just gradually get thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. A lot of knives do. So, but this one gets thinner on this side towards the choil. Now, I wanted to match it so bad. And I'll tell you what, I put a lot of work into sharpening this knife, being very patient and just time consuming, and being gentle on the stones, and doing very light passes, to spending extra time on certain stones. I even started with one stone and said no, like I didn't like the way it felt, so I went to a different stone, and it was sharpening up a lot better. Now, it's got a very nice edge on it, very sharp. Not quite hair whittling like the other two, but still, I mean, obviously it's hair shaving. I mean, it wouldn't be sharp if it couldn't shave hair, but I feel like it could have gotten a little bit sharper. I might put it on another stone, and it's not really coming up that good on this camera, but all the serrations go in one direction. And they're kind of shiny too at the same time because I spent so much time on the last stone. But I didn't want to put it to a very high grit because it seemed like it was losing its bite from the stone I was already on. Not like losing it in a bad way, but I could tell it was getting finer pretty quick. So I might hit it on another stone. Now see, the thing is with hand done knives, when you're sharpening them, and I can show you many of them, and practically I don't think I've gotten but maybe one or two hand done knives. Like this one was nice and even on both sides, beautiful. And I even put a convex edge on this, which is a little bit harder than doing a V-grind for me. Some people it's easier because they move anyways, so they just do it naturally and just move weird. But for me, I tend to try to hold a perfect angle when I do it. But this one was nice and even too. But most hand done knives have little inconsistencies, and I'm going to show you in just one second. But like this one, right? This is pretty common for hand done knives because this is the plunge grind. So this is the thinnest part right there. But then down at the very bottom right here, it gets thicker. Excuse me. Because it's right here where this locks up. So I couldn't break into that area, and I wouldn't have anyways. So I just brought it right to the plunge grind. And I'm sorry if my nails are kind of dirty. I've been cleaning stones and stuff. Anyways, but that to me is something that either one you can just fix with a diamond file or a diamond Dremel, which I could easily do if he wants that done. But I don't look at it as a problem. It's just the plunge grind. I mean, this just is what it is. It's the same angle all the way across. It's just right there. It gets nice and thin because of the plunge grind. So it is what it is. But now here's another hand ground knife, and you'll see this is pretty common with hand ground. Not all, but a lot of them have, like, see how it waves? That's the same angle all the way across. It just gets thicker and thinner and then a little thicker. And this is a prototype, so this isn't really a big, a big deal. It's literally just I'm not saying just, but it's a prototype. It's not a knife that's being sold. Now, knives like this that are expensive, even though the person might be using a system that does give them the same angle back and forth, they still are human. So they still put pressure in areas more than others, or maybe they might come off at an angle, like when they're doing it, they might come off quick off of the belt. There's lots of reasons why you get tiny inconsistencies. I mean, you're human, right? But that's kind of the beauty of a hand done knife, because don't get me wrong, this thing is tolerances are off the charts. Like, to get a knife of this precision and this type of build quality and fit and finish, it almost has to be done by hand, because I feel like a machine just can't feel those little details. Yeah, a person could take it out of the machine and look at it and stuff like that, but you're not going to get the passion that you get when doing a knife like this. And the holes, I mean, you would think a machine did these things. I mean, here, let me zoom in a little bit. You see how this one's got the I don't know what you'd call that, but that type of finish. I think that looks so cool. He also has knives that are nice and smooth. But look, they all have that. Look at that. That is so cool inside the holes around the edge. That is so awesome. This thing, the roundedness. Dang, man, my fingers are nasty right now, guys. I'm sorry, man. I was just flattening some stones, and one of them was orange. Anyway, sorry. Where was I? Oh yeah. Okay, so around these little spots right here, they're so smooth. Look at this. Perfect lockup. This thing is so smooth right here. I mean, so comfortable, man. I don't even feel that clip. The clip just sits so nice. Like, you can tell whoever did this literally touched it and felt on it and made sure that this was very, very nice in the hand. Then, when you unlock it, super easy to unlock. Gives you plenty of room. Kara has a problem because of her nails, but I don't have a problem. But the closing on it, when you open and close it, let me back you guys up a little bit. When you open and close it, it's so smooth. It's on another level. Like I said before, it's not like hydraulic. Like a lot of people talk about hydraulic. It's not like that. This is literally oiled glass. The detent is very light. You see, it's not a strong detent, but that is what gives you... And the thumb flick isn't the best. I'd rather slow roll it than thumb flick it. Now, don't get me wrong, you can thumb flick it, so I'm not saying you can't thumb flick it. The middle finger flick, very nice. And there's no like real strong detent to break, so it's more of a luxurious middle finger flick rather than a crisp detent flick. It's different and it's definitely unique. I love this little spot right here that lets me get nice up and close. Now, I didn't cut but two things with this, and it was just a piece of cardboard. And all I wanted to do was I started sharpening it. I got my first stone, so it had a very, very sharp edge, and I used it just to feel how it felt when cutting. So I put it in the hand, and I cut something with this position, nice up and close, like that. I took a couple slices like this, and then I tried some back here like this, because I noticed this has this little spot right there, and that's right where the balancing is right there. So I felt like, man, he wanted you to hold it like this in a way, but then also be able to get nice and close to the blade if that's what you want. I personally liked this grip better than this grip, but using this grip gave me a lot of distance, so I could blaze through things without being really close to them. Sometimes when you're going fast, which I wasn't cutting fast, but I'm talking about just from experience of cutting cardboard really fast when I've had to break it down really fast because I had so much. Sometimes you'll start getting burned on your finger from going, like, from the cardboard rubbing your finger as you're going past like this. You'll start getting little burns. So sometimes it's nice being able to be back here, and then the cardboard will smack right here. Sometimes it could hit right there, but I didn't have that problem. The pressure of the lock bar, super easy. I mean, this thing just feels luxurious. Even the weight, everything is just so smooth and nice on it. Now, like going back to sharpening it, I'm kind of upset at myself more than I am the grind, because, you know, let me just say this. I'm happy that I got to sharpen it rather than somebody else or a fixed angled system. I think it might have been a bigger problem because I can technically manipulate a little bit more than a fixed angled system. Now, that being said, in the end, I wound up just holding one angle and doing it across. So this is the same angle all the way across. I didn't manipulate it, and I'll tell you why. Now, in order, like, so say if I would have matched this angle, or not match this angle, sorry. How can I put this into words? Say if I would have tried to match this to this side perfectly, this would be way thicker. So instead of it going matching on both sides, because it matches all the way from this side to this side, all the way down to here. And then from here to here, just that little tiny area, it gets smaller. Now, if I wanted to match that side, from here to here would be different from the other side. So it's both the same angle on both sides, and I feel like that was the best decision. And I think, and you know what, I'm sitting here talking about it as if it's a big deal when it's absolutely not. It is a knife, it is a tool, it's meant to be sharpened. It's a beautiful tool at that. It's an art piece, and it's got a beautiful sharp edge on it, And that's, you know, it's the way it was ground, and that's kind of the beauty of it, is that it is hand ground, and it is done very, very well. Now, yeah, there's a, you know, a couple parts that are a little, just a tiny bit off. Like if you look right here, you can kind of see it. If you look, see the little triangle right there. If you really look at it, you can kind of see that it is off from one side to the other, just a little bit. You can see one part sinks in a little bit more than the other, but it's not, it's like the tiniest little thing when doing that. That's why it's so hard for these guys, because the tiniest little, like, just little difference is everything. You know, the difference from, say, 15 degrees to 16 degrees, or 2,000s to 3,000s, it's massive when you're doing these things. And that's why this is a masterpiece, because to get this type of fit and finish and all this details so perfect and so amazing, I mean, and line everything up, and I've never had a problem with the screw coming undone right here. Speaking of that, they did use T6s instead of, so it's like a T8 and then T6s. That's not something I'm really happy about, but I will say this though, I didn't take them out or nothing, and he said I could, but I did take one little bit and I put it in there and I felt it. These are well done screws, or, you know, Torx. They are done very well, and they could easily be taken out and put back in. A lot of companies, when they have titanium hardware, they're soft. These didn't feel soft, and they're nice and tightly fit. That's awesome. In the pocket, I only put it in my pocket a couple times. I didn't really want to spend too much time with it in the pocket. And you know, the clip works almost like a Sabenza clip. You know, I was just comparing it right here, but it almost works like a Sabenza clip. I mean, it kind of feels the same, even though they are completely different, you know, which is good. I think the Sabenza clip works fantastic. Now, this knife is in CPM 154, which is a good steel. It is a powdered version of 154 CM, so it's that much better. And everybody loves 154 CM. I've never really heard anybody say, 154 CM. Nobody's ever done that. Everybody loves 154 CM, and this is a better version of that. So, a good steel. And on the stone, it felt legit, like, surprisingly. It's hard to explain, but I honestly, you could have told me it was M390, and I would have believed you. Honestly. I swear to God, hands down, you could have told me it was M390, and I would have believed it. And that says a lot about the heat treat, because, and like I said, it's a powder version of CPM 154, so it is a better, you know, version. It's more, you just, you know, look it up yourself. I'm not going to go on a tangent about that. My videos right now are not uploading if they're very long. So, but the lockup, I love the way it sounds. It sounds like it's locking up, which it is, but I mean, like, kind of like a tool sound. I like that. I like the sound of it. Yeah, I really do like this thing, and it is done very, very well. Like I said, I might throw this on another stone and just polish it up a little bit. The only thing is I don't want to lose the bite that it has, because it has some good bite. Let's just cut a piece of paper really quick. Let's test it out a little bit. Let me back the camera up a little bit. Focus, and then we'll end this video. I mean, it's very, let's do the tip. Very, very sharp. But I feel like it'll lose that bite if I do a little polish to it. Another knife I did in CPM 154, that's what happened. It seemed like it liked a little bit more of a toothier finish. Now this one, I feel like because of its heat treat, it might just do even better with a little bit more of a polish. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. I might do that before I send it back, or before I meet back up with them, because we're going to meet back up. But I got to give Spirited some credit, man. He's he's a true knife lover, a true knife enthusiast. You know, he doesn't BS. You know, he loves his knives, and he you know, he's not scared to carry them and use them, and really you know, he has a passion for even the people in the community, or the knife makers, I should say. He knows so much about these guys. And Tom Mayo is from Hawaii, lives in Hawaii, and is a bit of a surfer guy. And he started making knives in 1981 and was taught by Glenn Hornby until, well, that was the person that I guess he learned how to make knives from, until 1995 when Glenn passed away. But it's an amazing story, and I really hope you guys go and check the story out. I really wanted to tell more about the story in this video, but to be honest, I haven't been able to upload a video over 16 minutes, and I don't even know if this video is going to go up. I'm having so many problems uploading videos right now, so I've already recorded this, and like I said, I don't even know if this video is going to go up. That's probably why I feel like it's such a bad video. But I love you guys. Thank you, Ryan, for letting me check out these masterpieces, and I will see you soon, brother. Peace.